Hello, wonderful humans of the Rebellion. This is Snowflake Foxtrot. I'm one of Extinction Rebellion UK and London's social media coordinators, and I'm making another tutorial to tell you guys more about how we run things in social to empower you in your local and national groups around the world to start growing the same way that we did on social and really making this a mass movement and decentralizing our social media as much as possible. So, I wanted to talk to you about a campaign or a hashtag more specifically that we were working on quite heavily back in November called Humans of XR. Humans of XR is based on a very simple idea. Give the people in the rebellion a voice and show their face. Anybody can have a voice, but also anybody can give somebody a voice. All you need is a phone and something to write their words down with. Look it up, hashtag Humans of XR, and if any of you guys know Humans of New York, it was basically based on a spin-off between that and another project called the Climate Collective, which does a similar thing. The idea is to take a photo or make a video of someone and ask them, give them a voice, essentially. So Humans of New York was pretty broad and just had quotes of them saying anything. The Climate Collective did more specific interviews of people involved in studying or affected by climate change and their thoughts on it and their more emotional views rather than just talking about the data. So Humans of XR, we want to do that for the rebellion. We want to talk about, these people who are prepared to give up their time, who may be prepared to break the law, who may be so convinced of what they're doing that they're prepared to go and be arrested, go to prison. Why are they doing it? And that's the main question that I ask when I go out on the streets to take photos or video for the Humans of XR campaign. When you make these stories, the simple thing to do is to go up to people and ask them, why are you here? And write down or record what they say, and to try and platform some of the different voices, some of the diversity of people who are joining the rebellion and who are prepared to be out in the open with their faces on show to say this is wrong and this system is broken and we're demanding a better future. Another part of the Humans of XR campaign that's really important is to recognize that many people in our society have lost their voice, and with it their power over what happens to them. So particularly this will be people of color, this will be the poor, this will be indigenous communities, and this will be anyone who isn't the rich oligarchy, essentially. And that also includes wildlife, ecosystems, rivers, natural areas who in most cases were never given a voice in our society in the first place. So we humans who are given a voice have to speak up for them, and we have to give a voice as much as possible to the people in our societies who have been silenced. Giving people that voice on a broad platform and showing their faces and showing their hopes and their dreams to the rest of the world is one of the first steps to me to taking back that power and the agency that we have lost to the structures of society that we're currently living in. And that, in a sense, visions the third demand of Extinction Rebellion, which is the Citizens' Assembly. The point of the Citizens' Assembly is that it's representative democratically of all the members and all the different groups of our societies, and not just the rich and powerful who currently run the system that we are living under, much as we claim that it's a democracy. You don't need somebody's identity, you don't need their name or their profession or any of these things. You just need their face and their words. Give them a voice in the same way that we would for the Citizens' Assembly or the People's Assembly on the bridges for Rebellion Day. We want everyone to have a voice, and everyone joins the rebellion for different reasons. Some join it to do with climate change, some join it to do with justice and social and environmental justice. For me, it's a lot about wild nature, and that's why I'm doing some of these tutorials outside with the birds singing around me when there's one of the few nice days in London. Everyone joins for different reasons. So the idea is to show the rest of the world that these are not just scary, extremist, radical activists who are prepared to do scary and violent things in order to achieve change. It's a lot of people who've made a very conscious, measured decision to rebel, to change something, to demand a better, different world and an end to the stuff that is killing us all. The air that I'm breathing right now is 1.5 times over the pollution limit, and there's some birdsong here today, but there used to be a lot more just a few years back. One of the other questions that you can ask is, what does a better future look like to you? And to some people that will be more about the technology that we use and the differences in how we produce energy. To some people it will be a stronger democracy and true power to the people. To some people it will be reforestation and conservation and a greener world and stabler ecosystems. There's all kinds of things that people want to see, and we have a shared vision of change. That's our first principle and value. So we want to start getting these people to talk about the future that's just there before us if we just reach out and take it. Start asking these questions and start finding people's deepest thoughts and beliefs about why they're here and why they're doing this and what it's for. Maybe you can ask them how they're feeling about the crisis that we're in, and the struggle that many of us are going through as we realize just how bad it is. But the main idea at the end of this is to show other people that these are not exceptional human beings. They're not anyone scary or particularly brave or radical. They're people who've made a rational, measured decision to do what they're doing. And once you show their faces and give them a voice, it's going to be very, very difficult for the mainstream media and the government to paint them as these kind of radicals or someone that they can repress. And it's also to do with getting more people to understand that the people who are on the streets protesting and locking on and breaking the law to demand system change, that they're just like them, and that they have dreams just like them, and they have fears and hopes just like them, and that they want justice just like them. Once people start to realize that the rebels out on the streets are like them, that they have the same problems, the same fears, the same hopes and dreams, and the same world that they want to see, that shared vision of change, they'll start to realize that it's a small step to start to become involved in the rebellion and contribute what you can to achieve change that could save us all, that could create massive reverberating differences throughout the world in our societies, in the way we relate to each other and to the natural world, that could see a brighter future arrive. So the take-home message of Humans of XR is very simple. It's that you can be one of these people taking action for a better world. Anyone, black or white, rich or poor, arrestable or not, can be part of this movement. You can be one of the Humans of XR, standing on the right side of history. So if you want to see a better world, and you're prepared to do something about it, welcome to the rebellion. I'll see you on the streets on April 15th. Much love, rebels.